It is Friday. That means it is time for all of the boom. I'm your host, ZMOT. Don't even need to remind you that Code ZMOT works in every single Supercell shop. You've been warned about that enough. We are going to do all of the boom, starting with full disco, all of the statues glowing, with the best troop, possibly. Maybe Heavy Choppas might have taken that role, but Rainmakers are definitely up there on the list, and we are going to be doing an Operation Attack to start with. Now, typically, Torrent, you would use either Heavy Zuka or Bullet with Zukas and take this down, but what's the fun in that? We are going to mix things up a teeny tiny bit, and this is one of the hits that I love to do. So part of it is sending an early flare and letting that flare expire bit by stinking little bit, because what we want is that flare to be gone, so we need to get it to about 40%, and then once it gets to there, we're going to send Bullet out, well, keeping him under smoke just to make sure that he gets there and distracts all of the things once he arrives. And then by the time he gets in position, that flare is almost dead, which means that we can then drop all of our troops towards where we want and get them not to walk to where he is. So as soon as that smoke starts to clear, we are going to drop all of our Rainmakers at the shore. Bullet is going to taunt all of the things back there, keeping all of it under wraps as our Rainmakers just absolutely crush everything. Now, it is fairly darn important that we keep Bullet taunting. There's a lot of damage happening nearby, and he's gonna die if we don't keep taunting. So that taunt will keep him alive as all of our Rainmakers drop bombs on top of him, which of course is less than ideal. And would I be doing this if our op wasn't well in hand? Probably not. So Bullet is still taunting. We're getting rid of those last couple lasers and things, and now we can start to smoke Bullet out of there. Need to throw a couple smokes out here, maybe a couple of critters as well, just to make gosh darn sure that Bullet gets nice and wide. We did not get rid of all the lasers, so I pulled out prematurely, which is better than the alternative, I suppose. We managed to keep Bullet alive, which means that we should be able now to make our way towards the core. But one major problem in this scenario is that we are still dropping bombs on Bullet's head bit by little teeny tiny bit, and also our troops are going to start targeting on a diagonal, which means those boom cannons are going to start being able to range our Rainmakers, which we definitely don't want. So we are going to keep throwing a couple shocks out there as Bullet goes right. That laser barely getting our, I was going to say ladies, but I suppose Rainmakers are gender neutral-ish. Keeping the shock on some things as Bullet comes back into useful mode. Now, I am almost 1000% certain that Rainmakers do not outrange lasers, but yep, there we go. There's our answer. So I have made a handy dandy chart that shows the range of shock launchers and lasers and doom cannons and all the rest versus Rainmakers, but I don't have it handy mid-attack here, so we're just going to have to assume that everything outranges Rainmakers. So we're going to want to move a little bit over to our right-hand side and try to keep some of them alive. I think all prototypes that actually shoot do, except for CMOs, is my best guess. And we should have finished this base off, but we are not going to do so. And on the plus side, I have checked already to make sure that the operation is well in hand. I would not have done this if not. Drawing the ire of our task force members is not something I enjoy. Let's just get that perfect shock out there to get that shock launcher and machine gun. I did not get the perfect shock, so that 1 HP machine gun gonna do some damage on us, but it's about to be dead, and that will be guaranteed that our next hitter is gonna have no defenses to deal with. They can just walk up and finish this base off. So, bit of a failure, but if it's not fun, then why are we doing it? Gotta keep all of the fun in the Boom Beach. Yes, we're doing Forlorn Hope, but we have 10 hits left, with Alamo needing 1 at most. I don't know how it would be less than 1. Can't sabotage the core. Torrent being 1, and then Red Line, we've got 8 for that. So hack a couple rocket launchers, get the shield gens, 1 core hit, down it goes. That should be at the very most 3. So we have 5 hits required with 10 remaining. So I snuck a little bit of fun in there. Speaking of fun, getting the full segue going. I have been dropping like a stone in Warships on this account, but on the plus side, while that drop was happening, we are up to 420% troop damage. Just absolute one-sided, fully leaning into the offense, but in weird ways. So I don't have all of the offensive tools, sadly. We don't have laser rangers. We don't have our good friends, the rocket choppas. So it's Bombardiers with heavy choppas, which is far, far, far easier. Also, don't have seekers. So we have all of the offensive tools, just don't have the offensive tools. So a little bit awkward there. Also don't have Rudy. So 420% build troop damage with Rudy's carpet bombing is just fully ridiculous. But don't have that option, so it's going to be just straight up old-fashioned Bombardiers with the old-fashioned heavy choppas. So we are going to get Kavan over there. We are going to get some critters out there to try to keep that going. Going to send you up that right-hand side, and then I'm just going to hold a teeny tiny bit. You guys have all seen this attack in progress. Nothing fancy here, just walking through most of the defenses. That one rifleman missing all of... Oh, got a couple mines there. And then we're going to send all of this stuff up that right-hand wall. That hot pot in that circle center there is a giant pain in the butt. Not overly concerned, though, because we should be able to keep that occupied using our good friends, the critters here, and we'll get a med kit just to make sure that all of our Bombardiers stay alive to get rid of it. That left-hand side is handled. That right-hand side should be handled fairly decently. And now we're absolutely golden. Just watching all of the things take it down as that boom cannon gets taken down in like one shot by our Bombardiers. 420% troop damage is just beyond ridiculous. It is just silly how fast buildings melt. And now we're down to our final 2 engine rooms, and we're at the 2-minute 30-second mark, so we can get those flares going onto that engine room, and then getting the flares almost instantly onto that next one as I barrage one that's already dead. Not the fastest attack, but we're only in 21 and we're only getting started. So we got 214, they got Kung Fu Panda 4 again. I've already had the sequel on the channel this season, not taking stars from Ultra Tony. This season replaced by Kung Fu Panda 4. Much prefer taking stars from strangers than people I actually know. So definitely have taken some stars from people I know this season, and also given them as well, but a little bit more fun taking them from strangers, especially strangers as lovable as those with a Jack Black sort of voice. So we will do one more with 420% troop damage, then we'll do some other things. But I do have a awesome warship hit that I want to show you because it'll get you to the next level if you have those same tools. So we need to be concerned again about that back right. That back right is a constant pain in the Buttinsky. So we will just be dropping. We're going to start on the right because it is the biggest pain for us right now. And then we're going to get a couple guys over here. Don't need to drop a heavy chopper on that left-hand side yet. We will get Dr. Kevy Kavan going because why the heck not? And now that we've started in on that left-hand side, we'll get that heavy chopper out to that wide left-hand side. These guys are all good in here. Everyone on that right-hand side is all good as well. And now We're just gonna hold. I hate this part of the attack. This is the part of the attack that drives me the craziest, because you're just sitting here waiting, feeling like your troops are being wasted. And now that we've gotten some inroads on this middle section, we can start to drop those guys. And this is where remote defib would be so handy. But of course, I don't have that feature, so we're just going to have to rely on some critters to keep some of our guys alive. And of course, some medkits. Medkits for days and days, as a couple heavies manage to make it to that back right-hand section. Should be enough to get us all of the things. We've got a decent spread here, all because we waited as long as we possibly could. Lots of good troops in front of that Doom Cannon, lots of good guys back here on those engine rooms, and now it's just flare. Getting a couple shots there, getting a couple shots back here, and now we are ever so slightly faster. Getting a 2 minute and... Come on, I said we're going to be faster. Clearly we're not going to be faster. I think that's 1 second faster than the last hit. Probably a loss to Lee. Oh, we got a win. Okay, so decently fast at the rank 21, but definitely need to be faster than that in order to rank up. But we'll come back and do something else first. Now we're going to do the silliest of silly reminders. Whenever Rainmakers are present, please remember that you just send them up here. And it is one of the most satisfying sights that exist in Boom Beach. Watching Rainmakers shoot over this gap, especially since they changed the targeting mechanism for Rainmakers, you no longer have to keep all of your GBE to keep flaring the core. You just sit there and watch. Yes, it does take a little while for them to make their way back there, and I would love to have 3 times mode on operation attacks, even though it would probably break a lot of things. But once you get them in place, you don't need to worry about 90% of the defenses that have been removed from this core. This task force is one that I am in randomly. There are all sorts of players that do not know how to play the game terribly well. They clearly don't subscribe to Code ZMOT in YouTube or in their creator codes, but just get those Rainmakers chucking over that gap and all good things will happen. There's only a couple bases this works for. Minotaur and Centaur are the 2 that come to mind. There are different gaps that you can shoot over for different bases, but these are the 2 that you want to look out for while you have Rainmakers loaded. Now, yeah, okay, it's gonna go down. Now I can just use all of my GBE. We have the Barrage Tribe. That Barrage Tribe is almost done as we get those drops over across that gap. Silly little detail. Would have been way more fun if this base had not been touched and we could send our troops back there, but at least we got to show off the power of the Rainmakers on very fun bases. Jumping around one more time, speaking of the power of Rainmakers, full boost Rainmakers are just beyond silly. Now, I still prefer full boost Laser Rangers. There's a lot more fun, I think, with those, but we do have 3 times mode, which means you just sit back and click one button at a time. That button, of course, is Second Wind. It might cost a little bit more gold doing it this way, but you probably are super duper flush with gold. I am not, because I do not play main base nearly enough. I also do not play Warships nearly enough right now. Lots and lots going on with life. Boom Beach has had to take a bit of a back seat, as you probably have noticed by the fact that I did not publish a video on Wednesday or Thursday. Getting a little bit of extra gold here, and now it's just drop and go. So, this person with the worst, that statue lineup hurts my brain a little bit, but just dropping all Rainmakers. We're going to put it on 3 times mode, and I am just going to sit here and keep clicking Second Wind. Why Second Wind, you might ask? Just because those pink zombie dudes keep our troops alive. If they're out front dying, our troops at the back are not, and that keeps our gold and our troops alive. They also clear all sorts of mines. And one thing that I just skipped by, do pay very close attention to the end. What the heck? How did I get this person? We are going to do the kind thing here, and we are going to send all of our Rainmakers over in this neighborhood, hoping to lose a couple in the process. Anytime I get a low-level base that does not belong on my map, I try to kill a bunch of my troops just to give them a couple diamonds. Now, when you've got Rainmakers loaded, that can get quite expensive, but I think it's worth it a little teeny tiny bit, especially the fact that you guys might recognize my name if you happen to subscribe to the channel, and I would hate to not give you diamonds and just crush your base if you're a low level. So trying to give Gandalf a little bit of a handout, and in the process I forgot what I was trying to show you. So attack temporarily. Did I just lose to that base? I don't understand. That seems wrong. Did I attack Gandalf? No. That seems... If anyone's got any idea what's going on there, do let me know, please. I feel like we did not fast forward. Let's find a new opponent. Did we just get something? No, that doesn't make sense. We should be able to attack. If anyone has a suggestion of what the heck just happened, please do let me know, because I don't think that should have happened. Anyways, we are going to drop... I'm puzzled. We're going to drop all of this stuff over here, and I'm going to show you what I was talking about as far as things to pay attention to, because there are all sorts of great resources available on this end screen here that I have been completely ignoring. And don't get me wrong, I hate ads. I do not watch ads in Boom Beach, but do pay very close attention. Don't just discount it, because I've seen a couple screenshots of players who have gotten 2 power powder up there. I will not watch an ad for many things, but if you're going to tempt me with power powder, I might just do so. Again, hate ads, don't like watching ads, don't suggest you watch ads, but not trying to be a corporate shill here. I don't get paid by Supercell. I get 0% of ads, which doesn't make sense to me. If you've got Code ZMOT in the shop and you watch an ad, you'd think that I would get like my 0.001 percentage points, but anyways, doesn't matter. More importantly, those ads are not for everyone. Some people like ads, some people hate ads, but I do really appreciate how Supercell put them off to the corner, out of the way, so that you don't have to watch them. There are some games out there, even like Team Snap. I don't know about you guys, but I have to be on Team Snap for like 40 different kids teams, and getting an ad for an app that I have to use is beyond frustrating. I'm on a tangent though. So hopefully this method of using Rainmakers has given you some suggestions or some ideas. I always, as an old-time OG style Boom Beach player, I always forget about that 3 times mode button, and once I remember, I get way more intel for my task force, I get way more resources for doing upgrades, and we know Rudy is coming. We know headquarters level 27 is coming, so the more free bases you have on your map, the more resources you're going to have in this resource boat. I've only got 250 million gold. I've only got 100 million iron. So I don't know if that's going to be enough if we get a new landing craft level. I don't know if that's going to be enough if we get a new headquarters level and new buildings perhaps. So do keep those going. And as I said last video, in case you missed it, keep these trader crates growing. You probably want to have in the neighborhood of 320-ish hero tokens up there, because once Rudy comes to that main base, you're going to want to max his abilities, and as you can see right there, 256 to max crystal clitters, which I am not going to be doing, but if Rudy brings level 6 Carpet Bomb, then I am all in on upgrading that. Is it even called Carpet Bomb, or am I making things up? I don't know. Back to Warships we go. This is my account that I have basically parked. Staying at 6 engine rooms is not the answer if you want to get into rank 23. Segue to showing the parking tool. You guys know where to park, where this works, how it works. Rank 23 is my goal for my account that I showed you at the start. Need to find some time to do that. That way I start in 13. This account has already made 21.76, which means it's going to start at rank 12. Any questions, hit me up. So we have Rudy on this account. I also have Bullet on this account. The reason why I have Bullet is I want to do some seeker hits for some fun. The reason why I have Rudy is because he is absolutely ridiculously fun with heavy choppa, rocket choppa. So I have a pretty drawing of the attack we're going to be doing. And when I say pretty, I mean kind of pixelated. But what we are going to do is our troops in the red are going to be our heavy choppas and rocket choppas. Those are going to be dropped first. They are going to clear that front section. As soon as we can, we are going to drop Rudy on the blue. He's going to head to that back section, and then he is going to use his bombing run along that left wall and then along that back wall. The heavy chopper, rocket choppas are going to rejoin him. It's going to be magical. You're going to be mind blown. And I am probably going to screw it up. I also might get the wrong sort of base to try it out, but maybe? Can we do that? This is definitely not the base that we should be doing this on, but maybe, just maybe. Do I have the guts to do it? I don't have the guts to do a seeker hit right now, but we could definitely use Rudy on his own to clear that right-hand side, which could be very useful. Just need to figure out how we are going to best do that. You know what? We're just going to do it live. I'm just going to drop all of this stuff on this left-hand side. I am going to use you on this right-hand side just because I don't know how. The worst thing that could happen with that cannon would have been able to get a lick in on Rudy, which would have made for very bad times. And now I'm going to keep a shock on that boom cannon just to make gosh darn sure that Rudy makes it through all of that stuff on that right-hand side. It would really suck if he died early on, and now that Doom Cannon is not going to go down, of course, because Doom Cannons are almost always placed perfectly that they don't go down to a remote hack, but it was basically a free shock was my hopes and dreams on that one. Rudy clearing up that right-hand side. We've got one rocket chopper on that left-hand side, has done a magical split, and now we just need Rudy to keep being somewhat useful. Even a teeny tiny bit useful is all I care about at the second. Let's get a remote hack on that back boom cannon just so that we don't have it crushing our troops. That one is almost gone. Rudy can get a carpet bomb, and because he's far from the edge of the map, we don't have to worry too much about him doing silly things and getting stuck along the wall. And as a result, we're going to get a time of 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Pretty happy with that. Definitely didn't go as well as it could have, but 2:35 is usually going to be enough for a win, and just showing the sheer power of letting Rudy just kind of hang out on his own. We have picked up a win. Hooray. We're probably going to get like, oh, we knocked someone out of diamond. That is even less fun. So, gonna pick up a whole 10 stars and then jump over to this account to finish the videos. Now, if you're looking for a task force, Kindergarten 9, T9, Triangle 9, S9, M9, K9 is our dog / young children related task force. New operation starting in 42 seconds, so jump on in here. As you can tell by our log, pretty darn good results, getting lots and lots of force points, getting lots and lots of free diamonds, and don't care if you're XP level 10 or 78 or whatever in between, jump on in. Free diamonds, just you have to do two of three things. You have to either chat, you have to do operations, or you have to get intel for the task force. 2 of those 3 things is all we really ask, and sometimes you can get down to even 1 of 3 if times are tough. This account, I do not play a heck of a lot, so if you're trying to join a task force to play with me, this is not the option, but almost have my second account down to 0 victory points as well. So I am ZMOT. Thank you for coming in, liking, sharing, subscribing. More importantly, though, hit me up in the comments. Always love the comments. Those make my world go round. I shall talk to you soon. Code ZMOT in the shop. Thank you for coming in. Peace.